Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, the AI industry goes to geopolitical war over open source dominance. A Chinese startup pauses a massive $71 billion valuation round, and Sam Altman says humanity has officially crossed into the singularity. We are scanning the wires to find out what's hype, what's real, and who is about to lose a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it is just a relentlessly busy day on the wire. We are watching really a tectonic shift in how the largest companies operate, and the ripple effects are going to completely rewire the tech sector.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is all about. You are getting the raw pulse of the market today. We've synthesized 16 massive signals to help you navigate the chaos. I'm going to drive the data. And we're going to break down the second-order effects and, find the hidden incentives behind these headlines.
Let's get into it.
So let's jump into the lead story, because we have a massive piece of hard news from @Deltone regarding the global AI race.
Right.
Chinese AI startup DeepSeek has unexpectedly paused its second fundraising round.
Which is why.
It is. Just to frame how crazy this is, they literally just closed a $7.4 billion round, putting their valuation at $50 billion. And they were aggressively targeting a $71 billion pre-money valuation with sights on a Shanghai Star Market IPO.
Yeah.
But today, they just hit the brakes. The founder, Liang Wenfeng, is reportedly keeping an iron grip on voting rights.
Well, see, the consensus reaction when a company walks away from $71 billion is panic.
Right, like the bevel is popping.
Exactly. The market assumes internal financials are a disaster. But, I mean, if you look at who Liang Wenfeng actually is, this isn't a sign of weakness. It is a massive strategic flex.
Wait. How does walking away from billions of dollars equal a flex? That defies, basic startup logic.
Because he doesn't need traditional venture capital desperately enough to give up control. Liang is backed by his own highly successful quantitative hedge fund, Highflyer.
Oh, right.
So that gives DeepSeek incredible financial independence. And right now, their open source models, specifically V3 and R1, they are rivaling Western leaders. But the real kicker is they're doing it at a fraction of the cost.
Right.
They've essentially solved the efficiency problem that American labs are just burning billions to figure out. So Liang doesn't need to dilute his equity for a cash grab. He's playing a much longer game.
Which, that puts a massive second-order effect, just existential pressure on American AI labs.
100%.
Because if DeepSeek is proving you can build frontier models cheaply, it completely destroys the business models of Western labs, charging a massive premium for closed access.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell a subscription when the open source alternative is just as smart and practically free.
And the economic reality is exactly why we're seeing this intense geopolitical war over regulation. If your product is closed source and expensive, your best defense against a cheap open source competitor is just, convince the government to make them illegal.
Make them illegal, exactly. Which brings in @Chamath's post today. Chamath argues that markets are unforgiving. He warns that any U.S. ban on open source AI would force American companies into these super expensive closed models.
It would completely destroy their cost structures.
Yes, and crash the valuations of closed source providers who just rely on regulatory capture. It's is regulating open source AI right now like trying to ban the printing press because you own all the calligraphy monks?
That is the perfect analogy. The legacy tech giants are trying to protect their margins by arguing open source is too dangerous. But the market doesn't care about your monks, It only cares about efficiency.
And we are actually seeing the rest of the industry rebel against this. I'm looking at posts from @Matthew Berman, @Stipeated, and @Timad Osman. There's this industry letter defending open-weight AI that just got signed today.
Oh yeah, the signatories on that are huge.
Sundar Pichai signed for Google. Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, and even OpenAI signed it. But @Steep points out that serving models is really hard, competition is necessary, and Anthropic is completely silent.
Which is deafening.
Yeah, they are the sole major holdout.
Because open source isn't just a philosophy anymore, it's a weapon. Meta, Google, OpenAI, they're using it to commoditize Anthropic's safety-focused moat. While everyone scrambles to keep up with China, Anthropic is suddenly looking like a massive geopolitical liability.
And Timad Osman twisted the knife on this today. He was wondering how Andrei Karpathy feels working at Anthropic right now.
Oh, man, yeah.
Karpathy has deep open source roots. So sitting inside the only major lab holding out, it's got to be awkward.
The internal culture clash has to be intense. But, the pressure on Anthropic isn't just political. It's actually showing up in their product pipeline.
Right, which transitions us to the whole debate over whether AI is actually getting smarter or just weirder.
Oh, definitely weirder.
Because at Peter Yang highlighted Kunchen's brutal analysis of Anthropic's new Opus 5 model today. Despite their new Mythos-based training pipeline, Opus 5 is crushing public benchmarks, but totally lagging behind rivals like Fable in practical real-world tasks.
Yeah, and this exposes a massive structural flaw. Frontier labs are prioritizing what's called machine-verifiable scalable RL over human-friendly RLHF.
Okay, stop right there. Break down those acronyms for the listeners.
Yeah.
Why is shifting away from human feedback making the models worse?
Okay, so RLHF is reinforcement learning with human feedback. Think of it like training a dog, right? You give it a treat when it plays nice. It requires humans in the loop to say, yeah, this is a good, polite answer.
Right.
Scalable RL, on the other hand, is completely automated. The AI solves a logic puzzle, and a computer can instantly verify if the math is correct. The machine is its own grader.
So it scales infinitely without needing humans to click thumbs up or down.
Exactly. But human interaction isn't a math test. By optimizing for logic puzzles, these models are just getting flooded with technical jargon and super unpleasant interaction styles.
They optimize for the test, not the real world.
Yep. Second-order effect is a complete misalignment with what consumers actually need.
But wait, if they are getting clunkier to use, why are the prediction markets literally screaming that we are hitting God-tier AI?
Yeah.
I mean, at Polymarket shows an 11% chance OpenAI achieves AGI by 2026.
I mean, that's just...
And at Kalshi highlighted Sam Altman's recent declarations. He went on a podcast and put out his Gentle Singularity blog, saying humanity is, quote, now in the singularity.
Okay, but you have to look at the deep skepticism in the user replies to that Kalshi post. People are mocking it. The singularity is just a marketing narrative right now.
To justify the costs.
Exactly, to justify massive capital expenditures. You can't raise hundreds of billions for data centers if your pitch is a clunky chatbot. You have to sell the sci-fi dream.
Wow. Which brings up at Chalet's prediction. Francois Chalet, backed by Elon Musk, said that within 2 years, discrete model launches like GPT-5 or Opus 5 will be totally dead.
Right.
He says they will be replaced by continuous unnumbered updates, just like Google search.
And if that happens, that is the death of the AI hype cycle. The real winners won't be the guys hyping the singularity on podcasts. It'll be the people who quietly build the infrastructure.
So if the hyperversion numbers dies, the focus shifts entirely to implementation. How are these tools actually building the future?
Yeah, it becomes all about the background systems.
Exactly. At Rock, the CEO of Vercel made a huge claim today. He said, the software factory is the product.
Ooh, I love that.
Right. He paralleled Elon Musk's realization about Tesla. The product is only as good as the AI agents set up to autonomously maintain it.
Yeah, the machine that builds the machine.
Exactly. And we have 3 crazy operational posts today showing this in action. First, at the Primigation shared a super gritty workflow based on the cursor field guide.
Okay.
He's using voice dictation, logging every LLM interaction into markdown files with commit hashes,
Yeah.
and forcing the agent to use tool calls.
To save the context window.
Yes, so it retains project-specific memory without blowing out the context window.
That is so smart, because normally if you just chat with an AI, it forgets what you said an hour ago. By forcing it to use tool calls and logging it, you build a customized autonomous microfactory.
Right, and then it bleeds into the physical world. At Yassine MTB highlighted Andon Labs' drone bench today.
Oh, this was crazy.
AI agents are autonomously coding Fable 5 drones for indoor surveillance, mapping, and navigation. And Andon's project pilot actually involved Anthropic, proving Anthropic is trying to bridge the gap into physical robotics.
I mean, the second-order effects of this hyper-efficiency are wild. First of all, the traditional junior coder is obsolete.
Totally obsolete.
But more importantly, as AI starts autonomously coding indoor surveillance drones, the regulatory spotlight is going to violently shift from data privacy to physical safety.
Because it has kinetic consequences.
Exactly. If an AI hallucinates a script for a web app, you get a 404 error. If it hallucinates code for a drone, it crashes into somebody's head.
And when this infrastructure breaks, it breaks hard. Look at GISQs, who announced GeoLibra version 2.3.0 today. It's a cloud-native GIS platform with 3D NYC visualizations and automated spatial analysis.
Massive data dependency there.
Huge. And what happens when the factory stops? Because at the Sodio from OpenAI reported a massive global outage today between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. GMT.
Yep.
It resulted in a reset of usage limits for Codex and ChatGPT work users. But users instantly demanded banked resets on their own schedules.
Which just proves that uptime is the new critical vulnerability in this economy. We are building massive physical and digital dependencies on APIs we don't control.
It's terrifying when you think about it. Technology is moving at this breakneck speed, but human psychology is struggling to keep up. How does society process an era where AI builds physical drones while humans are, frankly, debating reality?
Yeah, that psychological friction is maybe the biggest story here.
It is. I want to bring in a really grounding ethical rule from @Naval today. He simply posted, "Don't sell anything you wouldn't want your children to buy."
Which is brilliant. And if you view that through a market lens right now, it's so relevant. We're in an economy flooded with AI-generated sludge, online grifts, crypto hype.
It's just noise.
Complete noise. So reputational capital is basically the only finite resource left. Selling garbage is a short-term trade with a permanent penalty.
But here is the pushback on that. What happens when the public's trust is so broken that they won't even buy into objective reality anymore?
Oh, the NASA post?
Yes. @NASA posted live footage of astronauts Chris Williams, Sergei Kudzverchkov, and Sergei Mikhaev leaving the ISS on the Soyuz MS-28. Just stunning live video.
Yeah.
And @VonAurelian quote-tweeted it while complaining about root canal pain to mock flat earthers.
Yeah.
He pointed out the massive failure of society to prioritize basic logic.
And the replies were insane.
Flooded with people calling the live NASA broadcast cartoons.
It is just, I mean, that is the ultimate second-order effect of the information age. You have to connect the dots here. We have a society simultaneously capable of entering an AI singularity.
Right, building autonomous drone factories.
Yes. And that same society is entirely incapable of agreeing that the Earth is round. The gap between the technological frontier and cultural consensus is the widest it has ever been.
It's just peak epistemological chaos.
Totally.
So let's synthesize this deep dive for you today. Open source AI is being weaponized in a geopolitical market war to crush closed source margins.
Yep.
The software factory is entirely replacing the developer. And the public is completely fracturing over what is real.
It's a lot to process.
It is. So I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. If Francois Chalet is right, and model updates become continuous and invisible in the background, how will you even know when the true singularity happens?
Oh.
Right. Will it loudly announce itself, or will it just quietly take over your workflow while everyone on the internet is busy arguing about whether a live video from space is a cartoon?
I mean, I think we both know the answer to that.
Yeah. So give us a prediction for tomorrow based on all this chaos.
Watch the regulatory filings. As DeepSeek pushes this open source envelope and drives costs down, expect the closed source labs to completely abandon their safety argument.
Because it doesn't work anymore.
Right. They're going to heavily pivot their lobbying to national security in a desperate bid to protect their margins.
Follow the money. Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Vibecasting. We will be back tomorrow to scan the wires and bring you the real signal through the noise. Stay curious and guard your context windows.